Hi guys, my name is Joe, and this is Fighting Words, the martial arts library, and a segment that I like to call Media Fight Mondays. So on the first and third Monday of every month, I take a look at a fight scene, I break it down, and then I give it a grade based on storytelling value and realism. So today I'm doing a very brief fight. It's from the Deep Space Nine episode Broken Link. And our characters involved here, we have Elam Garak, played by Andrew Robinson. The character is a plain and simple tailor, except he's not. He worked as an operative for the government of a hostile alien race, an alien race that was hostile toward the Federation, which is the group that we follow. And then you have Michael Dorn playing, at this point, Lieutenant Commander Worf. Worf is Klingon by descent and is a mighty warrior, even though he's part of the Federation. Because they don't have a military, it's a whole thing. In this scene, just to set it up, Garak, who is very much a pragmatist, is trying to use an opportunity during a diplomatic mission to eliminate what wind up being some very, very, very hostile, bad for the Federation guys. But it is a diplomatic mission, so Worf finds him and stops him. And Garak doesn't like being stopped, so what you see ensues. Again, partly at the hopes of avoiding a copyright strike, I am going to be playing this at half speed. Let's go. So that looked to be like an elbow or a forearm to the chest. So the elbow, looks like to the solar plexus, and then he goes for a double-handed choke, which is sort of dumb. Okay. So, actually, I believe my dad had a similar story of someone he knew who turned around and elbowed a guy in the chest. I don't think I've ever done that in sparring. I'd be curious to know about its efficacy. Obviously would have to be a pretty close quarter thing. It's surprising that he went for the body instead of the head. With that being said, if you want to hit anywhere without a high probability of injuring yourself, an elbow's a great spot. And we see he went to go work on the system again in order to sabotage things. Worf stopped him again, and he went for a very natural and very opportunistic elbow to what on humans would be the solar plexus. There are things about Klingon physiology I'm a little unsure of, but it seems to have had an effect on Worf. And then he goes for the choke. The reason that this is done is that Worf is bigger and stronger, and that front choke isn't actually a very good way to deal with someone. You can try getting the thumbs into the pit of the trachea, but it's not very effective. He did up its effectiveness by having him pinned against the wall, which can help. Worf reverses. Garak smashed Worf's forearms down. Worf didn't have a choke per se. It looked like he was more bracing against his shoulder and his chest, but Garak knocked it down, and then hit him with a backhand. A backhand can carry a lot of force. And yeah, if you aim for the chin or the jaw, like this is the knockout zone. Goes for another one, follows it up with a palm strike. Tries for another one, gets blocked. Hits him with a palm strike, reverse elbow to the body. And then a throw, which is all he needs to end the fight. Again, good idea to use palm strikes if you are trying to hit the other person and not injure yourself. Injuring the knuckles of the hand is a risk that one takes when throwing punches. In particular, the fifth metacarpal, I guess. If you know more about biology than I do, please correct me. But this fracture is so common in punching that it's actually referred to as a boxer's fracture, colloquially, in a lot of places. So yeah, they're exchanging palm strikes, again, primarily at the jaw, which is good. It's a knockout zone. They twist the head hard enough, the brain smashes against the inside of the skull. And even with alien physiologies, if you're more or less humanoid, that's probably going to have more or less the same effect. After Worf counterattacked, he did flow from a palm strike to an elbow. To me, that has shades of flavoring of American Kimpo, which has a lot of flowy, going from one strike to set up the next one. A strike to, again, like the solar plexus area, can knock your wind out of you, cause you to double over, which pitches your weight forward a bit, which can set one up for a good shoulder throw. That being the final move in a fight, I think it's the most dramatic move of the fight, so it sort of makes sense from a storytelling perspective. From a realism perspective, here's the thing. If you get thrown like that, you're going to get thrown, your feet are going to roll out. You're not going to roll back and hit your head. But when they made the cut to show Garak falling, that's more or less what they showed. So in that regard, based on the way he fell, I could go, okay, maybe, bounce his head off of the metal deck plating and that took the fight out of him. You can have the wind knocked out of you by being thrown. I don't know if that would be a fight ender in a realistic situation. If you land flat enough or if you roll through with the throw, it doesn't actually take a whole lot out of you. That was the fighting sequence. It's a little bit short today, but I'm a little bit short on time. And you guys are going to see some more Star Trek stuff. I love me some Star Trek fights. I actually have one with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I haven't recorded anything regarding it yet, but I'm saving it for a rainy day. Anyway, great for realism. We are using some in-universe things to take into account from a perspective of, are the moves realistic? Would they have the effects that get shown? Honestly, the throw is really the only thing I take a whole lot of issue with. B-, just because I didn't like, I liked the throw, but I didn't like the result of the throw. So between that and Worf sort of bracing against him, for storytelling value, this was very quick. There wasn't a whole lot of story to tell. With that being said, like I said, we do get to see the fight ended with a big move, with a dynamic move in the form of a throw. We have internal consistency that both guys are using elbows, palm strikes, and we see the more diddly force things being used by the guy who's very desperate to end things with this, what winds up being the greatest threat that their side of the galaxy has ever seen. So, he's the one going for chokes. Again, I don't think that that's very efficient or effective, but it does convey a sense of seriousness and desperation. Worf is mostly playing defense early on, and when he does launch his offense, the throw is big, but everything he does is largely non-lethal, or he could have just headbutted him and killed him, which is a story from Worf's childhood when he was playing soccer, like, oh, humans are fragile. There was a bit of a story being told there, nothing that was dramatically inconsistent, so I'll just set it as an average C. It was okay. It kept the internal logic of the universe and of the scene. Thank you for watching. If you would like to help support the channel, or you would like to suggest any fight scenes for me to take a look at for Media Fight Monday, please donate to my Ko-fi account. The link is in the description. And that's all I got. Thank you.